Hello everybody, and welcome back to Animal Crossing New Leaf. Welcome Amiibo! Right off our doorstep, we have a fossil today! Also, I made a lazy hoodie. Though it's a lazy hoodie that is very hungry. And it's very hungry for a very particular reason. I'm probably going to be wearing this hoodie a lot, because I am a nerd. And it just so happens to be Kerbo. I do like me some Kerbo. I normally wouldn't wear stuff like this, not at least anymore. When I was younger, I would have wore stuff like this all the time, but like, I gotta wear a Kirby hoodie. It was one of the things I was got for Christmas. That got a few hoodies. I'm probably only gonna really wear this one, but I might wear the others occasionally if I'm like doing laundry or something. That'll really be about it. Oh, there's the other. Well, that's inconvenient. Well, it's also very convenient because that means I can just build it and then I can just make the snowman here. I shouldn't do that. Oh, the dung beetles are out and this is close to a... Oh no. Dung beetles. Okay, so, let's go at this one from this side. But, yeah. I don't really know what to talk about today. I just woke up, like, a couple hours ago. That's something I could talk about, I guess. My sleep schedule has just decided to completely break itself. I didn't even try to break it. It just broke itself. That is the only way I can describe this. Where multiple nights now, I would be dead tired, I would lay down to sleep, and then I'd only be asleep for like 3-4 hours. It's great. Like, legitimately, like, Christmas Day, you know, the 25th, I did my recording for the 26th, which you guys have seen. At least I hope you've seen. If you hadn't, check it out. I did the stream, which was pretty nice, pretty chill. I just spent the time playing American Truck Sim. I was thinking of, like, doing maybe, like, a mix of games, but after, like, 4 hours of American Truck Sim, and only having, like, 3 hours of sleep before that, I was dead tired. I managed to stay up until around 6, and then I laid down. I was awake at midnight. Tried to go back to sleep, laid in bed for hours trying to go back to sleep. Sleep never came. So I eventually just gave up, got up at about like... God's, when was it? I initially got up, like, I got out of bed at like... It was like 1... No, it wasn't even 1:30. It was like a little after 1 in the morning. Was awake until... I was awake until around 8, where I was feeling super tired again. And then I lay down to sleep, and I was just out until 6. So... I shouldn't have done that. If I get the bingo... I'm dumb. I literally was just talking about how I shouldn't do that. And then I got rambling about not being able to sleep. And he's gonna give me 37, isn't he? No, 34. Okay. Today is the day I don't want to bingo. Oh, well. I have been playing a new game. It's, one I've been looking at and decided to finally pick up, of, Atlas, I believe it is, if I remember correctly. Yeah, ATLYSS. It's pretty neat. It's really scratching, like, the MMO itch I've had for a long time. in a way that, like, no modern MMO does. Like, it feels like an old MMO, which is a good thing. There's a fair few people that'd be like, man, that sounds bad. It's like, yeah, I don't care. I miss old MMOs. Hello, Tia. Hello, my sweet Tia. How are you doing? Breeze feels nice tonight, doesn't it? So, what's on your mind? Let's talk. Pete is here. Must be hard to deliver all the letters in town. We definitely keep him busy. Don't forget to help him by keeping your mailbox tidy. Clean the old letters once in a while. I do. I clear them out anytime I get letters. It's my post office storage box that's completely full. Gyroid. But yeah, like, it definitely, like, it's an early access game and you can feel it. You can feel the early access about it. But that mostly just comes down to, like, enemy balance more than anything. That was so close to being the 37 I need. The game thinks it's trolling me by double dinging me, or triple dinging me. Wait, where? Oh, 33. I got triple dinged from one number. I mean, I was already double dinged, but still, you get the idea. But, like, it's more, like, in the class balancing that you can really feel the early access of it, because, like, I decided to just go basic warrior, just because generally tank builds work best as first characters when learning any game like that. And that goes for MMOs as well. If you, like, are new to MMORPGs and you want to, like, learn how to play it and you're worried about, like, not understanding a complex build, play the tank. The tank is almost always the easiest class to play. That's also always needed for parties as long as the MMO is actually well designed. Looking at you, Star Trek Online. I still love Star Trek Online, but there is no purpose in tanking in that game at all. You just DPS as much as you can DPS. That is how you Star Trek Online. That's just how you do it. That's how you've always done it, and it's really frustrating. Say I didn't need to move the flower because I messed up the money rock anyway. You see that, Tia? I messed up the money rock. I'm a sham. But, brain, work with me here. Oh, yawning. Jeez. Why am I yawning? I just slept literally the entire day away. But yeah, like, I was playing the basic tank class, but I come to realize very quickly a lot of at least the enemies in the early game, and I don't know how much of the game exists at this moment, a lot of the enemies in the early game are most easily fought from range. Like, some of them will have ranged attacks, but it's rare they actually use them. Making one of the most effective things I could do on my character is throw a rock. Like, just chuck rocks. Oop. Tia wants something. Hello, Tia. Something. Hope this isn't presumptuous, but I think you could use a dark polka shirt. I mean, okay. I mean, I do like some polka music. If it's Weird Al. Yeah, let's see it. Let's put that on. Oh, that's Fuchsia's shirt. It doesn't really fit me. Fits Fuchsia. Also, I have a headache, so that's fun. But yeah, I'm tempted to start another character and try out the, probably the mage. Because I do like me some magic. Like, usually in MMOs, I tend to gravitate towards the healing classes. And, like, I greatly prefer MMOs that, you know, balance themselves around the healer healing, but I don't think I don't think Atlas has exactly a healer. It might. There's not a huge amount of point of being a healer playing solo. Though, in some MMOs, the healers are perfectly viable solo. So you just flew by. For those who had a good or bad year alike, let's all join for a countdown and ring in the new year. Yeah, we are getting right close to that. Only a few more days. I'm going to share my thoughts on this year on my New Year's stream, and probably a few in my New Year's video, gotta be honest. Like, but yeah. Oof. This year. It's not gonna feel like next year until the years actually progressed a bit, but man, can I not wait for next year. Like, just to put this whole year behind me. But yeah, like, Riders of Icarus, playing the cleric solo, is actually pretty viable, because you have good DPS options, as well as you have decent tanking ability, and you can heal. In a way, you're basically a mix of everything, playing the cleric in that. Plus, you have a lot of buffs, which can also buff your damage or your party members' damage. Oh, I think it started snowing. Yay. Oh, I love the snowing 8 o'clock music. I almost want to just stop talking and just listen to it for a while, but I'm worried if I do that, yeah, Pudge is singing and moving. And he's gonna do it, because he decided he wanted to move next month, so he's allowed to do that. But yeah, I'm trying to think of another thing of like, then you get MMOs like Final Fantasy XIV, where outside of basically where the dungeon forces you to heal, there's never a reason to really even have a healer, and your healer is DPSing most of the time. That being, like, actually using combat spells and stuff, because most of the time, they're not needed to be healing, because most of the content isn't designed for it, or the tanks themselves just have the ability to heal themselves. That MMO has a lot of what I would consider issues with its class setup. I'm not saying it's bad, just I personally find issues with it. It very much feels like it's trying really hard to just more or less, rather than actually make engaging, difficult content, just occasionally do an equipment check, basically. Which I'm not a fan of when games do that. Like, got a shovel in hand, are you hitting rocks? He's gonna tutorialize me. Yeah, I've literally already done that today, Rooney. I appreciate that you think I'm dumb, but, you know. Carlos! It's the latest. Mole Cricket's so sneaky, you can't catch one. I will try. I have not heard one yet tonight, so... Where'd Velma go? Yeah, I'm gonna just play it safe. Philip, it's freezing out here. So you wanna chat? I think fruit is the most beautiful thing in the world. Don't you agree? Of course you do. They're like jewels, aren't they? Everyone dazzling in its own delicious way. Mind finding me some fruit? Any kind? Sure. I think we got fruit trees, like, right here. Got apples. I think I've given her apples too much. Let's go perfect cherry. Do I have room to actually, like, I don't. Do I have all my... I don't. I'm still missing a fossil. Velma! Brought you your fruit. But yeah, it feels like it just really wants to do equipment checks to make sure that, like, is your tank actually equipped, fully? And then do, like, then occasionally they'll do DPS checks of basically, oh man, it is, do your DPS have the right weapons? It's like, or you could just make the content engaging, which I'm sure there are some people who would try to argue that that is engaging content, and I don't agree. Like, it's not engaging to check if the party has grinded enough, especially when most of your party compositions in that game are random people. You're just clicking to queue into the dungeon, you're getting random people to fill in the rest of the party. It's not really engaging to be like, oh man, random guy number 3 over there, he isn't, he's our tank and he's not wearing the right equipment level for this dungeon, even though he can stay alive through the rest of it, he fails the tank equipment check. And thus, the dungeon fails because of that. Like, that's not engaging, that's just dull. That's lazy game design to force someone to stop and grind. Like, same with the DPS check. Like, sure, it can add tension to, like, a really big boss fight in, like, a single-player game. To be like, oh man, you're whittling their health bar down, and there's this big timer going down, and you've got to beat the timer to beat the boss. Like, that can add a lot of tension. When that's added to an MMO, and can then, if it fails, force 4 people at least to have to replay, and in basically an entire dungeon, that's not fun. That's just lame. And, like, I know there would be people who would probably disagree with me there, but, like, it's just how I feel about it. And you're free to disagree. Like, I'm not saying I'm right, but, like, I would much more rather, like, here's basically the way I personally like MMOs to be set up. And I'm going to use, a fair few examples of EVE Online as an example of this. So, there are level 5 missions. Basically, missions in EVE Online go from level 1 to 5. They're basically little PvE encounters where you could basically call them micro-dungeons. Well, in general, there are 2 ways of going through them. There is the high risk, everyone carries their own heal, and you just kind of hope to DPS your way through the mission before you die. There's the overkill of bringing a ship that is far too big for it, but works, and just soloing it. Or you can run a more standard party, where you have a logistics, aka a healer, probably a pair of them, and a 1 or 2 DPS to work your way through it. With the payouts of level 5s, that's more or less how you're intended to go through them, with a group of people. Because, well, especially where these ones happen in PvP space, where you can be attacked at any time, it's helpful to have healers around. And the healing in EVE, you turn it on to whoever is getting shot and leave it on. Because if you turn it off, they're probably going to die. Your job is to heal. Now, a lot of the logistics ships can carry combat drones and can pretend they're helping, but they'd be better off carrying logistics drones. Another way to put it is, I'm okay with a healer having combat spells for when they have to do things on their own. But when a healer is in group content, that content should be developed in such a way that the tank needs healing. Like, and it shouldn't then be turned into a case of, oh, the healer has to manage their MP perfectly. No, give them ways of recovering their MP, darn it. Like, give players easy ways to recover their own HP through items, too. The cost of doing that is a slot on your bar. Now, 14 takes that to the extreme and it wouldn't matter, because you can have, like, 50 bars. Alright. You can have it, my man. Our animals are really ruining their houses. Also, man, I think I'm getting sick. This headache is making me feel very sick. Oh, no. That's not fun. Oh, jeez. Oh, my forehead is really hot. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm getting sick. That's a bummer. But, like, if the healer doesn't have to heal for most of the dungeon, and only really has to heal in very specific situations, that more or less means you don't need a healer. What you need to do is add potions so that the tank can just heal themselves. Like, you know, it's not well designed, in my opinion. I have to keep adding that, because I know people get very, very upset if you criticize Final Fantasy XIV. But I feel like, and this is something I encountered a lot with EVE Online as well, so this isn't specific to Final Fantasy XIV, and World of Warcraft players as well. If your MMO is subscription-based, your player base is going to get a lot more upset when someone criticizes it. Because, well, they're actively paying money to play the game, so they feel like you're telling them that they are actively wasting money, which I would argue that they kind of are, given 14 really is not that special. I mean, I'm just gonna chill on this rock. I am getting so... Ugh. I just want to finish my point. But, like, when I say Final Fantasy XIV isn't special, what I mean by that is, like, oh man, you can play your class and change it anytime. Yeah, you can do that in Phantasy Star Online too as well. PSO2 is also free. So there goes that point. Well, it's a big MMO with a large overarching story. Yes, so is PSO2. Well, it's got okay combat. It's like, yeah, PSO2 has better combat, and again, it's free. You see the problem? You're paying money, and then you're basically falling into what could only be described as gambler's fallacy, to try to argue that you're spending money constantly every month isn't a bad thing. Or the equivalent of spending money every month. Because paying a subscription yearly, you're still technically spending an amount that you could have paid every month. It would have cost you more to pay it every month, but they always break it down for this is how much it costs you to play for a month, so... Yeah, I think I'm actually just gonna end things off here. I am starting to feel really ill. There will be an episode tomorrow. I refuse to let any illness beat me. Jeez, I'm even getting congested. I'm gonna go, like, down some Buckleys. Shorter episode today. But, yeah. I do thank you all very much for watching. And hopefully I'll see you back here tomorrow for more Animal Crossing New Leaf. Welcome, Amiibo. See you all then. And now on this end card, I'd like to ask, if you liked the video, hey, could you hit the like button? And if you're not subscribed, could you maybe subscribe? That'd help me out a lot. Thanks a bunch.